makes the dream. We'll make a scene. I wanna worry about the subtle things in life. The table's turning on the people that you left behind. It makes me nervous when you cannot leave my mind. So I'll bear the burden, I'll bear our burden and the world's asking why. Our heads in the sky. The world's asking why. something less than whole. I'm a diamond turning into deep black hole. There's no one left to ask. There's no one left to please. Now I don't know who it is I expected to appease. I thought there was such depth that I could hold. That anything I felt I could sustain. And then I saw you slip right through my soul. I realized just how much I can't contain.
So that one, I want to switch that up to Facebook here shortly, but this one down below is what is going out live now, more or less. And then that one will be definitely delayed, but also we'll have the live chat room. If this works. I also have to reset up a camera for the street view again, since I could still throw a webcam up, really. Device that they made specifically for like digital SLRs and camcorders and all that that have an HDMI out that can't be used as a webcam without loading special drivers. Like Elgato came out with this device that said you can plug any HDMI thing that does output into this device and it makes it a webcam feed. Really? So I can just throw any camera at a web. I mean, that doesn't help me anymore, but still. Anything that has HDMI out. That helps anybody. That can grab video. That helps anybody that uses like Wirecast and things like that. Actually, XSplit. I guess that would help all those. Keep joining us. We're waiting for a co-host. I mean, another co-host. Like we have a lot of people here, but we're missing one. So.
There's a thing there.
Are we on Facebook now? Okay. No, that's not ours.
Well, I really hope that we're on Facebook because I just shared Facebook everywhere.
Yay!
Yeah, it's called a cam link.
Are we recording this for gold?
Not currently.
Chilla, what's the deal with the cam link?
So Camlink, and now it's like, of course, on the top of their page, and then when you say show the products, it's like not on their new. First time I've had two people on the couch with this shot. Yay. Yeah, the cameras have gotten bigger since you've been here 2 weeks ago.
Cameras have gotten bigger?
Yep. Because you just had a webcam in front of you last time.
You're right.
This, if you want to wear this for checking your mic technique.
Okay. Which side switch?
So,
Does it matter? Do you know?
Sorry, hands over here. It's from the lake. Hey, Missy.
Yes, dear.
Oh, it's up here. That's right.
Again,
It's weird.
how old are these people? Or how young are these people?
Maybe the new thing is not to care which ear is which.
Well, they fit kind of weird if you have them backwards too.
Yeah, right. It's a weird world.
That's how I usually know that I have.
That's how they solve that problem.
All right. So that's good.
So in the show notes, I put.
So how will we hear our other co-host?
How are you? What?
She'll be sitting right
She's
there.
supposed to be coming.
She's there. Oh.
Yes. There she is. Sort of. Eventually.
Right. She's so slim you can barely see her.
Yes, she is very much Casper the Ghost right now.
There it is.
That's a haunted sort of a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's Halloween-ish.
All right.
I think I'm gonna have a pumpkin carving day here. In the spirit.
Missy with the Xbox controller, she secretly plays video games when no one's looking.
Secretly.
Yeah, I don't think you can hide that.
Yeah. I pulled up there usually.
Oh yeah, it's right up front. It's like an ad. It's product placement.
It's the Raspberry Pi controller.
So
Oh.
I think so. I had that old Motorola Zoom tablet. If you remember, it was like the first Android tablet. That
Oh,
was
the first one we tried loading our
quasi-popular.
website and it crashed.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when we,
Those
what
were
else?
the
What
days.
else were we loading on there? Jeez, I can't remember. It was
No,
like a.
like basic websites, and it would crash the entire, it would freeze the entire thing.
So, but back in those days, I had like it rigged with a bunch of Nintendo emulators and TurboGrafx 16 emulators. Because if you got the emulator up and running and you just stayed in there, it was perfect, right?
Of course.
And then they had an app where you could sync your Wii mote to it to use as the controller. But now the Joy-Con controllers are Bluetooth and they work. And someone's actually selling a rig that you plug the two Joy-Con controllers into the side of, and it has like a tilt-up thing to mount your phone on. Something I may get back into the whole emulators on Android because now they have like you can go as far as like N64.
Your mic's not on.
It's not.
Sorry, I didn't put my headphones on. I mean, they can probably hear you, but just not well.
How about now?
Towards you.
How about now?
Hey,
Hey.
Cindy.
Hello.
Hey. Sup?
Really loudly, for instance.
And you match your chair.
That's why we couldn't see her before.
It's like she's not there.
Now, what would be funny is if you green screened her and chroma keyed to the shirt,
Hey,
she'd
you
just
wanna
be a floating Zelda logo.
Yeah, you want to come down to work
Oh.
hard and be a floating head?
I like it. I'm okay with it.
All right, that might be switched on too. They put the switch on the wrong
Nah.
side.
It's towards you.
Oh, I can turn it off maybe. Oh no, it's there.
Yes.
No, no, no.
There, it's there.
I forgot
Whoa.
to turn on your mic here.
Thanks.
You're echoing.
Yeah, a little bit. I need to turn her down.
It's my remix.
Yes, there it is.
It did
Wicked.
sound very sexy.
Wicka, 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 dudders. Try to do
Pizza.
some quick things here.
Oh, your shoes are super cute. I love that color.
Thank you.
Okay, I think all the new is fixed,
All the new.
so it should work now.
You have good juju.
The who knew?
Yes.
Who knew the new?
Threw pizza
Who
on the
knew
floor.
the new?
Over there? Remind me, I dropped pizza on the floor.
Oh, I'm telling.
That's why
Cool.
the dog's here.
Oh. All right, you guys ready?
Rock and roll.
I was born ready.
Also, not going to be able to read stories while talking in the mic anymore until I fix this. I go work on.
It's a laptop. You can put it wherever you want.
Well, no, because do you see how many cords are attached into the laptop?
It's too low. I can't see.
No, I'm so okay. So I'm still kind of like the entire workflow has to be reworked over here with the new system, and that's one of the things I need to figure out.
What's on that screen? What's on the Dell screen?
This is what's down there.
Can you run that into the laptop?
I think ideally, no, because it's already the out is going to the HDMI out. That makes us see it there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't split that out unless I get another adapter or 3. But I could see moving that laptop over here. That would make a lot of sense. So, but there also may be new hardware going to replace the laptop that I'm waiting on. So there's a lot of stuff in the works.
You have a lot of hardware.
We've cycled out a lot of hardware. It's all sitting in the basement. We could start another podcast studio with all the equipment that I left to have in the basement right now. Like a low end just podcast studio.
Podcast studio
Please notice the glare
sub-level.
that your wife and producer is giving you right now.
We'll just I'm just gonna rent the basement, leave the equipment, and let somebody develop something.
Is it in this basement or the old basement?
No. My basement, the old basement.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
In the scare house basement.
In the scare house basement?
Yes.
We're going to take all your tech to the
With,
scare house.
you know what, I think we should go back there then, because they have the brick wall.
Oh
you.
no. Oh no.
Ooh. We do a brick wall.
Katie,
What am I?
what?
Hi.
Make sure you're pretty close.
Yummy,
when
yummy,
you get
Mike.
into- yeah, like there.
I'm eating pizza.
That's what you need to do. Okay, maybe not. Okay, you can back
Can you
off for
move
the
forward
pizza.
while you're chewing, please?
You can definitely back off for all the pizza. Actually, we'll do this too. All right, let's start. It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 367, show where we get geeky, talk tech. I'm Mike Sorg.
Are you serious? Wrestling Mayhem
Did
Show?
I say that?
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
I thought you were spoofing.
I thought he was joking too.
What show are we on? This shows how much sleep I've had the last couple of days.
And then it's funny too, because then he went into where we get geeky and
Yeah,
talk
I was
tech.
like, that was impressive. That's what I
Well, it was like something was wrong, but I thought it was the part where I didn't say live from the Beachview Sorgatron Media Studios.
I don't think you've gotten that far yet.
No, I didn't get that. Well, no, that's usually the first thing because I usually have the image up outside, which we wouldn't have anyways because it's starting to get too dark for it.
And take 2.
How do I put a webcam on the outside of the building is the next task.
They sell the Nest sells one, D-Link sells one.
One that will interface with my somewhere in my switcher. That's the
You
next
just
task.
want
Drone.
so much.
I want
The,
too much.
the
Drone.
cam link.
We'll just drone it.
Oh no, that's not HDMI out.
Yeah. Figure it out.
You can just bring up a screen share.
Just put a car outside and then have it sit on there.
Be amazing. What is this show? Yes.
Yeah,
That's
you
the name
know
of
what show
the
is.
new name of the show.
Now
is
I have
Yes.
it more directly in front of me. Yes. Live from the Sorgatron Media Studios in the Beachview neighborhood of Pittsburgh, PA. This is the Awesome Cast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, video professional with Sorgatron Media Psychic Media Services. And this is Awesome Cast, a show where we get geeky talk tech with all of our friends here in the studio. With us, first of all, from Studio A is John Chichilla.
That's me. I'm not in Studio C. I'm
Yes,
in
you
Studio
are.
A.
Welcome.
Big
You're
comfy
back.
Couch. It's
You're
nice to be
back. Big comfy couch. You got a new camera on you.
Oh.
One of the new equipment. Look at that. Look at that. He has so much color depth. so much
It is
color depth.
beautiful. The sun setting.
He is the gadget guru over at Big Bank International Esquire, and he's now more guru-y over more gadgets, apparently, from what we were talking about off air.
Yes.
Yes. So the ever-expanding.
It's classified.
It's like you have like a banking empire within the banking empire.
It's a technology empire.
Yeah, I like that. Also with us, sharing the couch this week is Cynthia Klosky from Shift Collaborative. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me in studio. It's
In
very
studio.
exciting.
We had a great discussion with you a couple of weeks ago for the awesome chat. We got into the weeds a bit about a lot of the cool things that you've done over your career. For the moment, though, tell the people out there that don't know about Shift Collaborative and what you're up to these days real quick.
Well, Shift Collaborative is a creative agency here in Pittsburgh in the lovely East Liberty neighborhood. And we are doing everything from logos and brands to websites and online ad campaigns to crazy things like today. We had a neat thing with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership and the Ministerium where people would sit down for a little bit of soup with a person they didn't know in downtown Pittsburgh and have a conversation about homelessness and what does home mean. It's extremely cool.
That's awesome. Always some really cool projects coming out of there to keep an eye on. Also with us, she is with the Scare House. Hi. I feel like I surprised you over there.
I was like, oh, that's me.
And she's still eating pizza as you do. Katie Dudas is with us.
Vote Slice on Broadway.
Nope, not that one. There it is. That's her. There she is.
I'm still surprised. It's me again.
Hello. She
Hi.
is media and marketing
Director of Sales.
director of sales and marketing. Damn it.
Mogul.
So close.
Mogul. I'm just going to make up your title every
You're
week.
fine. Yeah,
So
it's- I'm
sales
okay
and
with it.
marketing mogul and social media extraordinaire over at the Scare House. Zombie
Social media
wrangler.
shenanigans.
She knows master of social media shenanigans. Damn it. Damn it.
Welcome to
And
the Wrestling Mayhem Show.
Also check out hashtag Dutter's Day from last Friday.
That was fun.
She
I might have to do that again.
that was pretty cool.
It was a wild day. It's not normally like that.
I saw somebody tweet Dutter's Day is the greatest day. Which it was just a lot of purgatory and hanging out on a random stage at the Science Center, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, we were at the Science Center.
I didn't even know there was that stage down
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty neat.
So like, where were they hiding that all these years I've been going down there?
If you go past, the thing that shoots the little rockets in the air, the kids that shoot them. Pew!
Yeah.
Go right past that. There's a little door on the right.
Back there. Hidden away.
Sneaky.
But of course, like I said, this is the show where we talk about technology from people in the Pittsburgh state of mind that are doing these things, as you have got doing some really cool things around the area. You can check us out at awesomecast.com, awesomecast at sorgatronmedia.com. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook. We have a great Facebook group where you guys can share stories with us, talk about stories that we're concerning for the week, and of course contribute ones that we put in the lineup and might be bringing up here on the show as well. Also, please subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Music Podcast, wherever you'd like to get your podcast. Just look up the Awesome Cast, and there's probably us and that other one that thinks they can use Awesome Cast 2 that has nothing to do with technology. I don't know. Every once in a while there's one out there. But anyways, and check out, we're live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at live.awesomecast.net or our Facebook page currently, and a lot of other places thanks to using our restream.io we've been talking about in recent weeks. You can check us out on our Periscopes and our YouTubes as well, and even Twitch a little bit too. And please check out our sponsoring partners, the River's Edge PGH.com and the 405media.com, where they've been carrying the shows on their live streams at various times. So check the schedule. Check your local listings, your local internet listings for when the Awesome Cast is up. They're tweeting it all the time. I know we are daily on the 405, I believe, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon for you East Coasters like us, or your Pittsburghers, which there's probably a lot of you in the audience for this. And also, please support the show, patreon.com/awesomecast. You can donate to the show and become a part of it, become our bosses, and we send you some extra content like Chilla. What were we talking about? That wasn't the Bluetooth discussion we were doing on air or off air, was it? That we were recording. You were getting into the weeds on something over there.
We were talking about Bluetooth, and then we were talking about Camlink, and then we were talking about stuff that Cynthia is going to talk about, and then we
Yeah.
were talking about a lot of
We
stuff.
recorded some of that stuff, and we don't hold back on the geekiness because it's just us getting into it. So, and also thanks to our fans, our contributors on there: Matt Weller at Coffee Club $5 level, Matt_Weller, and Michael Fedor at Mike Fedor Show on the Twitter at the fan of the show level. Also, shout out to a friend of the show that is. I mentioned him last week, but the drive is still going. Brandon, that contributes a lot of things to the show and definitely contributes a lot of stories in our Facebook group, is actually going to be involved in the Special Olympics in 2018 under bowling. We do have a link that we've been sharing in our show notes the past couple weeks. You can click on that, donate to his cause, and it's pretty cool. And let's help him get to Seattle for the 2018 games. As part of the Special Olympics. Thank you so much, Brandon, for supporting the show as well, and let's support him in his endeavors too. So let's get into our awesome things of the week, and let's kick off with Cynthia Klosky. What is your awesome thing?
So my awesome thing, it's not a new thing because it's been around for a while, but it's new to me. And that is the AirPods or earpods or whatever you want to call them. So I adore them. I love them desperately. And I mean, the kind of way that I'm using them, like on Monday, I had a tech support issue at work so in the first thing in the morning, what you really want is for something to have broken with a client, right? So I started my day needing to do this call and kind of walk people through things. And I also needed to get to work. So I put the AirPods on so I could have this conversation, but I need to get to work. So I was just going to illegally wear them on the way to work while I was driving. So I get in the car, I turn the car on, the Bluetooth kicks on in the car and takes over the call, and the call seamlessly just hopped from my ears to the car. They could hear me, I could hear them. I mean, it's like the Jetsons is real now. I mean, it just feels so perfect. So I'm completely loving the experience of them. There's so much awesome. But what's not awesome about them, I mean, is that your experience too? You've been having them for a while now.
Yes, and it's funny because it's still an 8-week wait. So even if you ordered them today, they're new 8 weeks from today. So I feel like AirPods are going to be new for quite some time.
For a lot of people, yeah.
For a lot of people.
I just saw them. I went to the website. They said I could pick them up at Ross Park. I placed the order. I walked in. I showed them a QR code. They brought them out to me.
Nice.
I did not wait any. I did have to wait for a good 20 minutes because that's how the Apple Store is. But
what magic is this?
I'm saying. That's the awesome. But you do have to kind of watch for it and see which store. Like I had to drive all the way out to Ross Park instead of going to Shady's Head. So.
But going to order them in is probably still an 8-week wait.
At least I know someone. It's funny because someone came over to my desk and said, "Look what I got." And I was like, wow, that's cool. And he's like, I ordered these 8 weeks ago, and I just got the text message that they were over. He got them over at the AT&T store, but he ordered them, and it took 8 weeks to get them in.
Oh.
Now and I'm sure it was a matter of convenience too. Then he could walk across the street and get them. But yeah, and I know mine was about an 8-week wait, and I just got them 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the taking them out of your ear and it pauses what you're doing, or you can kind of tap to pause, like all the feature functionality I adore, and I feel like I get a lot of battery life out of them based on the fact I can just throw them back in the charge case. I think I charge my case like once a week, and then anytime I'm not using them, they're in there, and I've never run out of batteries.
So here was another thing. On that magical Monday of this week, when I had this, I was on the phone basically all day trying to do with these things. What I ended up doing was wearing one for a while the other one was charging in the case, and then swapping them, and that worked too. I'm telling you, there's nothing like them.
Is that the first AirPod hack
Oh, I don't know.
that I'm aware of, Shilla?
I think that's one of the ones I've heard. I'm trying to think if I've heard of any other hackish type. Here's the best.
How do you
practice.
extend your earpods?
Well, I know you've talked about using them as like a microphone kind of a
You
thing.
can use them as a microphone. I know there's a thing you can do if you lose one of the earpods or AirPods. You can find the device and play like a tone through it, and it blares pretty loud, so you can find the device. I've seen people threw them into a bank of snow, and then that's how they found them. So
Yeah.
So you're saying it's okay to go skiing with your earpods.
You'll
I
be
wouldn't-
able to maybe find them.
I wouldn't personally at the price they come in at, but each
Also,
their
if you're
own.
going on a lot of ski trips and you're okay buying the earpods, you're probably just generally okay with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So, awesome. Katie, what's your awesome thing of the week?
I just changed it. It was something else, and now it's something. Did I ruin everything for you?
Yeah, I just have to reload it.
Oh, sorry, I'm a jerk. Because Instagram stories now has a poll. We can do
What?
polls in our
You can do
Instagram
polls?
stories.
What?
Yes. So it's a basic thing. You can do like a yes/no question, or you could do like the one picture shows sprinkles or plain for a donut. And I'm loving this because it's going to be nothing but, do you want to see a zombie or a clown? Do you want me to go chase down a demon or a bunny? So I feel like this is gonna be a lot
you
of
can
fun.
do kind of a Dutters Choose Your Adventure.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So the next hashtag Dutters Day.
It'll be like, Dutters, choose my adventure. Tell me what to do. What should I eat for lunch? My life is now complete. I don't have to make more decisions.
You really could write a really good little choose your, Encyclopedia Brown or whatever, story
Yeah.
line, right?
Oh my gosh. Now I'm real excited about this. I was excited about it before, now I'm super excited about it. But yes, so.
That's awesome. So it's just, is it just like one of those kind of flip up from the bottom options?
Yeah, like where you put your location or
Okay.
any of the stickers is the bottom there.
Okay.
So it's down there. It's like poll, and you can pick a couple things, and then it'll tell you what people voted for, and it's super cool.
Oh, and actually, if I scroll down, it actually does show right here a little bit of that. Oh, and it just pops up which one, plain or sprinkles, they're showing donuts to eat and everything. So that's
Eat all
cool.
of them. Both.
So now it really is the feature battle, isn't it? With with Snapchat, I still am using my little 3D Bitmoji guys and putting them places. I was really happy that I got to do the Make It Rain guy in the middle of the wrestling ring on Saturday
That was
night.
amazing.
Yeah, that was something I wish I did like a couple weeks ago when I did another show. And I snap it out sometimes. Sometimes I don't even snap it out. I just download it and put it everywhere else. So thanks Snapchat for that. But it definitely keeps it on my phone. Sheila.
So what do I got? So Amazon released a slew of new devices last
Yes, thank you,
week.
because I've been hearing about these and nothing has stuck out to me, and I have not looked at any of these things.
Yeah, there's a new Echo, a new Echo Plus, an Echo Spot, and then there's another weird Echo we're going to tie into your old school phone line. And my pick, because you don't let me pick them all anymore, my pick is...
Wait, what don't I do?
Remember, what was it, the after the Apple announcements, I'm like, I want everything to be my favorite thing of the week, and you're like, you can't do that.
This is the best day ever is my awesome thing of forever.
So
No, but we were like basically expecting the entire show to be going down the list. So we can compartmentalize Echo at this point, I think.
So, and to be honest with you, I didn't see huge gains in the Echo and the new Echo and Echo Plus. What I was impressed with, if you remember, they released the Echo Show, which is kind of like the little bigger than a tabletop screen with video conferencing capability with all the Alexa stuff built in. This is kind of like the softball sized, kind of flat on the bottom sphere that has a small display, which I think is really, really cool. Has a built-in webcam, and allows you all of the feature functionality of Alexa with the ability to video conference, to see information, watch video.
There's an Echo in here.
Okay.
As in there's an Echo Dot in here.
Oh,
So you'll know when it
she-
wakes up now.
And that Echo Dot answers to Echo, or does it out?
No,
is
it
it
answers the
A train?
It's an A train. Yeah. So something you said sounded like A train for sure.
Okay.
So
I think I said all of A Train's feature functionality. or something
Yeah.
like that.
You forget about it. Also, it's coming up because there's an Alexa's Bliss on SmackDown, and we're watching it in here, and we're watching wrestling, and you see it like light up.
Do you go in and look at the history to see what it picked up on?
I haven't lately, but I have in the past. So
But where I'm interested in this is I think it comes in at a much nicer price point.
Mm-hmm.
So the show's at $229, the Echo's at $100. The Echo Plus is $150. This comes in at like the $130 price point, which is a little bit steep for just I'm going to take this and throw this on the counter. Where I think this is cool is I feel like there's the normal people that when they video conference with family, they're whipping out the iPhone, the iPad, the etc. device, and they're FaceTiming, right? They're FaceTiming because it's easy, it's friction-free, it's convenient. To me, this is that type of device that then allows you to take it past the phone or tablet type device and have these for multiple family members to then kind of either gather around the table, gather around wherever, and kind of have that video conference feel. Obviously, you can do audio just like any of the other devices, but I think this helps bridge the gap from a video perspective. It also ties in with any of the existing skills for Pandora, Spotify, etc. What I thought was cool too, because it has a screen, it ties into any of the wireless cameras. So if you have like the Nest device or different IP cameras around your house.
And I know they've used this before, but I just like brought it up on the website on the video. The part where it's sitting there, it's looking at you tying your shoes, and it says, "Always getting smarter." Do 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 do. Like that's the creepy. That's where we hit the creepy.
Yes, that is kind of creepy. The other thing is for the small device, obviously it has the built-in speakers, but much like the Dot, and I use the Dot at home a lot. Dutter. So if you want to buy one of these and sell it to me real cheap, I'm all in.
I forgot I had something else I wanted to sell. I forgot to bring with me.
Welcome to the Awesome Cast Bartering Network. Yeah.
But it has it does Bluetooth audio and 3.5 millimeter audio output. So you can plug in an extra set of speakers. You can plug it into your stereo unit, plug it into whatever you want. So for what you're getting, I feel like $130 is well worth it. And the friction-free environment that they're offering, and free calling in the U.S. and Mexico, and soon to be like the U.K., Germany.
Wow.
I almost feel like, is this going to be you buy this and subscribe to Prime to then be able to just have international dialing for free? Because that's the one thing that you still have to pay for on your cell phone, right? This kind of bridges that gap, because I'm guessing you can also use the Alexa app to make that phone call.
And it brings the world closer together. And also, as we were talking about offline, there's a landline phone connection, so that you can do the calling just over the phone line, like through a phone bridge, instead of over the internet.
Yes.
And now you think that's going to be kind of a bridge for older, not so technical. Like, this is the thing you get, mom.
Yes.
To, or something.
Yeah. You can, and it takes that phone call over that phone bridge. I'm guessing it's using bits and pieces of the internet. So when you say call mom, the way it figures out who mom is to go out goes out to your Amazon account, but it's not using all that heavy bandwidth for VoIP.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I have an awesome thing of the week, don't I? What? So with Podcast, but I know they visited here, and unfortunately something came up, and I couldn't attend the meeting, but I got to from PodCamp Pittsburgh this past weekend, which was great as usual. There was a really cool concept. There's some interesting theater and technology people that kind of got together, and there's a lot of things. Bricolage in town, and Kitty, I know you've had some experiences with this with immersive theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
About how that's what Basement is, right? Is a scary immersive theater, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So what if you took the immersive theater and put it online? And I think I've seen small versions of things like this, but these guys really kind of thought of a lot of things. And actually, there were a lot of things on social media that I don't think they had even ventured into that we use. But if you go to #immerse.com is their website. What they did, in a nutshell, and the entire presentation from PodCamp is, I believe as of now, live on YouTube. And if not yet, very soon will be on the Facebook for PodCamp Pittsburgh. Basically, they adapted kind of Romeo and Juliet, right? And set up with Facebook for, I think it was about 3 or 4 days, and using things like pictures and posts and spoiler alert for Romeo and Juliet, there's a wake at the end. And they Facebook Live that wake, and kind of put some closing to it and everything. And there's a point where a pizza shop burns down, right? And there's video around that, and there's people commenting back and forth and things escalating there. And they talked to Facebook about it because the real names policy and everything actually did get permission, but had to blow it up afterwards, basically, like as part of the deal. It's like, you can do this thing and everything's private. Like, you had a friend as somebody that paid into this, and there's about 30 people as part of this experiment that did, and kind of on a donation basis for people to try it out. And they were part of it. Some of them interact with it. They're liking and hearting things, and they had a pretty good response. So they go into the process of how they developed it, like kind of the script, which is like, so-and-so posts something to this effect here. And they were allowed to change it a lot, right? They're allowed to improv, on the fly with the post as it felt like it, as it felt right. Going out to clubs and taking pictures of the date night where they met each other, changing the relationship status, things like that, and creating a lot of those. It really kind of like taking a story and creating a social media marketing campaign to it. It was really cool to see how they developed it. So I definitely recommend checking out that video. Check out #immerse.com and kind of seeing that. And maybe it'll give you a different look at things you can do on social media in the fiction and theater world. So really exciting. So you know what else is exciting? I drove by the new location for Slice of Broadway today, over in East Liberty. I know, I know Riz sent us the selfie over there. He stumbled upon it. It's still opening, but good to see our friends at Slice expanding. Our friends that are supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, right here, started on Broadway, up the street from us. Hence the name. Also locations in Carnegie, PA, PNC Park, and like I said, very soon, over on the other end of town on East Liberty. They are slowly, what were we just saying before, they're slowly taking over Pittsburgh, right?
I said taking over the world.
Taking over the
I'm
world.
thinking 5 years from now, Mad Mike's going to be in like New York being like, look, we got a Slice. On Broadway.
On the other Broadway. That's like, they should just go to each town. Could you imagine a Slice on Broadway, on Broadway in Nashville with all the honky-tonk bars?
Perfect.
There you go.
Little band area on the roof.
There you go. What kind of music would they play at the Slice on Broadway honky-tonk bar?
I have that's beyond me. I'm just envisioning like this map of every Broadway street across the nation with like their little dots showing they're represented.
That'd be great.
Little pepperonis. Perfect.
There you go. Slice, you can have that one. So go check them out, sliceonbroadway.com. If you're a PJ_Slice on the Twitter, I believe the voting is still going on in the Incline, theincline.com for, yes?
Until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Until 10
this
a.m.
round.
tomorrow, 10 a.m. Wednesday morning, the 4th. So get at it, especially if you're joining us live or if you're an early listener here in the week when we post this show. Support the show. Support the people that support the show. That's the wrong website. That is the wrong computer. Working around some new hardware here. So check them out. Thanks to our friends, sliceonbroadway.com. Okay. From that, we have a couple of things to touch on here. First of all, and I think a lot of us work in this space, but Twitter has announced that they're expanding the 140 character limit. Oh no, Chilla's shaking his head at this already, and I know it's rolling out to like some select people so far for testing and everything like that. Chilla, what do you think of this?
So and there's actually some people have posted. There's ways to get that feature functionality now with some Google Chrome plugins and whatnot. I already have enough time getting through the feed as much as it is.
But you have pictures and you have videos and everything like that.
But now I'm going to be constantly scrolling. It's going to be a longer scroll segment.
It just means tweet storms are going to be shorter, right?
I hope.
Right?
But if you speak a language that's not English, if you're, this is either going to make things even worse. What I saw a tweet that said, we're all complaining. But then if you're Japanese, now I can write my novel, 'cause you can pretty much fit that all in there because the way their characters work. But if you're French or Italian or any other of those Latin languages,
German.
right? Oh,
German has huge words.
The joke was, I
Like,
can now fit that fifth word. You know what I mean? It's just
all I can say is like one word epithets or something,
exactly. So this, I think when you think internationally, makes a big difference. So
Oh, what? Yes, producer Missy.
I'm just going to make the comment that, we have how many people here in studio?
Do I count myself? 5?
Okay, so we've got 5 people that are on the show. And if I'm tagging all of you in my tweet that's going out, that takes up a lot of that 140 characters.
But that doesn't count against your.
I think it did. Has it been?
When I start typing it in,
starts
my
funny.
number
They
starts
said
counting
that they were
down.
going to get rid of that though, where you weren't going to get dinged for.
I think
mentions.
when you're replying. But like I'm
Okay.
tweeting something out and then tagging somebody.
Yeah,
in it,
so
think
like
that still
I'm
counts.
tweeting out the front of the show. We've got Katie, Chilla, Cindy, and Sorg all on for this week's Awesome Cast, plus the link to the show.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Sometimes I throw an image up there with the link to. I mean, and then you can get around things like tagging people in the image and everything like that. People really love to do that with me for some reason, especially like event flyers and things. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit of, but it's the way it's always been. But I think we're so far gone from that. Like I miss the Twitter that I like Twitter on my phone is a different Twitter than what I have in my tweet deck. Just flat, it is, right?
Yeah.
It's a different, I guess it's a different interpretation on the same content as far as how it's delivered to you. But I do miss a lot of that. I pull up the phone and here's just the feed of what's happening and realizing we're responding to things from a day or 2 days ago. Like I know to watch out for that on Facebook. I'm still not really used to that on Twitter because we are old schoolers.
I miss the bright kite.
I don't miss having the printout on. Now, Brightcade was kind of a precursor to Swarm and Foursquare and things like that. Because I remember I had the card printed out and trying to text message my Brightkite check-in on my flip phone.
You were super cool.
Yes, exactly. Wow. Remember, we were playing with all these things, and PodCamp and everything was like 2 years before the first iPhone came.
I miss Plurk.
Chachi still has his Plurk, doesn't he?
Chachi still is campaigning for it to come back every time it's brought up.
It's so cute.
Plurk was great. Plurk was amazing. But Plurk was a timeline-based, a horizontal timeline-based social media.
It was a side scroll. It was a Mario Brothers side
It
scroller.
was like the 8-bit version of social media. But
You got points for coming back.
yes, it was like a game more than anything. Thanks for Brandon for putting that in there for the stories for this week's. Also, Amanda Narcissi from Bold Pittsburgh got her iPhone 8 this past week, and she's been playing with a lot of AR. She was at the meet and greet here in the studio on Friday, checking it out, and she showing it off, and she's been playing a lot lately with her Dragon. Here, let me pull a picture for you guys. No, that's the wrong computer. I'm still not used to this part. I'm sorry, guys. But maybe you can see it on the screen over here before I pull it up. But yeah, she the app is called AR Dragon if you want to check it out. I don't know if this is iPhone only though. I'm sorry, iPhone 8 only, or if I can pull it up on my 6S yet. But 11, it's got a lot of iPads and stuff left.
You can do that on the
7 is listed.
6S and above.
6S, 6S Plus, SC. If you want to check out, there's the Dragon hanging out in her house.
It's so cute.
It is so cute.
So, and it looks like it was really responsive. Like it wasn't jumping around a lot. Like I know I've been playing a lot with the Bitmoji one. So, but of course she's got a way more powerful phone than I do.
Bitmoji isn't using ARKit.
No.
There's part of the difference.
And also interesting, and I'm going to have to get him in here to talk to us about it. But our friend Malengo,
how did he do that?
Yeah.
well, he has a session where he talks about that. That's on the PodCamp YouTube and Facebook page.
I will go watch it.
It's the story is about being the introvert artist and how do you get through a project and by documenting it online to make yourself accountable. He doesn't get into technical details with it too much. But hold on. But explain what you saw for the people
So-
while I bring up a video.
So what I saw was it looked like there was a pillar at PodCamp, and it had a poster on it.
It was just like a board that he brought.
Okay, a board that he brought. And when you used, I don't even know what the app was that he was using.
It was some kind of Unity-based app. Yeah, I think it was just like a general AR thing.
But so he used this app, and as he viewed the poster through the camera app, it completely changed the poster that you were seeing.
Cool.
So I am super interested in this. And can you do video with it? Did he in the session, did he give any information about, like, not a lot of the technical deep dive, but what he used and where I can go to find more information about it?
I honestly do not recall. I'm still looking for the video over here.
You know, Sorg,
Didn't we retweet that on PodCamp?
Sorg, when do we have a coffee coming up?
We have a coffee coming up this Sunday at 1 p.m. here. You're in Baltimore. Oh, no. Wait, I want to have to ask Malengo to bring it. Otherwise.
That's okay.
But no, it's so it was like a 412 PodCamp kind of design, and there was a poster that popped up over top of it, right?
Yeah.
Basically, he was designing the poster in Illustrator. He drew it, and it was he created the design, created the part of it, separated out the part of it that he wanted to be the tracker, send it to their developer because he does a lot of iPhone games and stuff. And he set it up for them, and it just tracks around that logo. So when you're moving it around, and I've seen this before, like I've seen things like, hey, take your Spider-Man DVD and use this AR app, and Spider-Man, like the city will pop up from your DVD cover or something, right? Or this page in a comic book. This is nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
It's just better than it used to be,
Yeah.
and accessible that somebody can do it. What is it up in?
Show notes.
It's up in the show notes? Okay, I'll bring that up here in a moment. But, I mean, it goes to show the kind of thing that, you can do. And again, he made that pretty much for PodCamp. And he got into, because initially he wanted all the characters to move.
So that's what I couldn't tell from the video that I saw. Were the characters moving or no? Okay. Because it kind of started to move with him as
Right.
he was moving, which I was kind of unsure. Was it something? Can you? Malengo, Baltimore, Coffee Club.
That was code for something.
I think that's his argument as to what he's doing this week.
Did you just break over there? What is happening?
Someone unplug the chilla and plug it back in.
I need a reboot.
Oh, jeez. Where'd you put it, Missy?
It's in local focus. The link right there.
Oh, there it is. So, I know this is so exciting. This is so exciting for audio right now as I'm trying to pull this up. But here is the video from PodCamp for you guys on that. So he's got this poster. It says PodCamp 412, and there's the app, and you see the image on top of it. And I was moving it around a bit. Like originally he had it upside down when he showed it to me, and then he flipped it over, and I watched it follow it. So pretty cool little trick he's got going on there. So.
Spy. It's like a spy thing. Like if
It is.
it's lemon juice over a flame, kind of
A little bit. Well, it's like we were talking about. It's like, wait, so if you cut, so it's to the design, right? That's in the middle of the page. So really, I could cut that out
And put it anywhere.
sticker it anywhere, like someplace on a wall, and now it's going to look like a poster on the wall. So I mean, a little lower end because it's a flat image on something, but still, like that's a cool like you could do a scavenger hunt with that or something, right? Hey, look for these images, that we put all over, I don't know, a concert venue or something like that, and find them all. The app checks them, and you'll see something play out along with it.
or if it gives you directions to go find the next one.
Yeah, exactly. What was the other one? There was, I forget which Marvel movie. I think it was maybe around the original Avengers. There was actually something in the theater, and you had to pull up the whatever Marvel AR app, and you would have a Lego Avengers scene play out around you. And this was years ago. When Avengers come out? I mean, I know I have it on DVD for some reason, so it was that long ago. But still, like that's, now it's just become more accessible. not just the Marvel Disney is on top of that. Malenga can make something. And yeah.
Are you saying Malenga could make it? I mean, like
No. I mean, Malenga's very talented, and he does a lot of this kind of stuff. But not a Marvel.
It doesn't take it doesn't take an entire studio with a multi-million-dollar budget.
It's not as big of a development task at this point.
I will say this is actually making my prediction from last year end of season show looking like my prediction's really wrong. My prediction was that we wouldn't see this sort of AR thing like in public much, and I'm looking wrong.
Well, you still got a couple months. It could still fail.
Yeah.
We gotta see if it catches on as more than just. I mean, these are neat things, but
I don't know.
Are the practical? I mean, okay, this is the IKEA
it's in the iPhone.
But even as far as AR kit, that's not AR kit that he did. It was in Unity.
Right.
It was not. And talking with. Well, we'll have to get him on to talk about it more extensively.
So here's where I'm going to transition to the next segment here, Sorg. Where do you think that we're going to be on Mars? Like, what timetable do you give that?
Apparently 2022, according to Elon Musk. He is all about us starting at least cargo missions going out there, and including rocket technology that will take you to, London in like an hour?
We're going to be able to get from here to Chicago in like
Yeah, we already got our
30
bullet.
minutes.
We already got our pneumatic tube that's not going to kill us. That's going to let us have lunch in Chicago in 15 minutes. So I don't.
Can they just bring lunch here? I mean, it's a very nice city, but I have shit to do.
Hey,
Sorry.
I'm not wasting an hour to go to Chicago and back.
there's an overheard for Twitter. I mean, they just, if they just had one to send their deep dish pizza over here,
That's what I'm saying.
they would need a smaller tube, right?
That's right.
Let's think a little more efficiently about this, and maybe a smaller rocket if we're just, I don't know, sending Permani sandwiches to London. I don't know what works.
So that's gonna be the thing. You're gonna get Uber Eats. So they're gonna put a stack of heated elements like your pizza delivery guy has. They're gonna throw that thing in the tube, stacked five high in a seat.
I mean, long-wise.
Yeah.
Pizza.
And
round.
then so someone drops it off in Chicago. Someone picks it up. The Uber driver picks it up in Pittsburgh, and then drives it to you.
And throws it
I
to
mean,
you like
there's been times where I've had to wait an hour and 20 minutes for delivery.
I don't know if this is like more efficient or not in the long run. But
how much do you want that, true Chicago deep dish pizza?
But the difference is for me to get to Chicago, eat, and get back, that's at least like 2 hours of time because it gets created and shipped here.
Right.
There's like your 28 minutes or whatever, and then delivered from wherever that is to you.
Plus, let's get somebody involved with some logistics or some statistics, and so that you can say, well, we're going to need 5 of these pizzas. I just have to ask for it, and it's here.
So I mean, anyways, let's roll back to the topic. Not even Mars. I'm still on this Earth to Earth idea that Musk is talking about. Basically, we have this rocket. We've been using it for the station or are going to be using it for Mars. But, oh, by the way, we have another thing to use this for. Completely tech-minded. Like NASA wouldn't have thought of this. Or at least would have been applied to because it's a government agency, right? But so basically, are you ready to, getting over a flight for me and the thrust when you're taking off and everything and realizing how much horsepower is between that to, break the laws of gravity to get you up in the air so I can go hang out on the West Coast in under 4 hours, right? Are you ready to ride a rocket, Chilla?
I would. Well, wait a minute. How long is it going to take me to get there and get back?
No, apparently.
He's got very important things to do.
I think it was.
We got time for that.
I got
They
stuff
were talking
to do.
about like an hour to London. They have a wonderful CG. Well, first of all, you have to take a ferry to the rocket.
That's fine.
It takes a little bit. That's a little bit.
But is it really that out of the question? Because with this methodology, you're probably going to save time. Like we actually looked at, so you can take the train from here to New York City for cheaper than the price of airfare.
Right.
The difference is boarding the train. You have to get downtown and you have to walk on. There's no baggage check. There's no security check. There's none of that. planes, you have to get to the airport X hours early. You have to check your bags. You have to probably sit through at least a flight delay. Then you get to New York.
I
then
love you
have
just
to-
like the flight delay. Just come on, guys, it's gonna happen. No.
Then you
No. Then you have to add another extra day for whenever Missy travels.
Do they
'Cause
lose
the
their
things
baggage?
No. They lost her in Denver, and then they lost the landing gear and put her in Baltimore. So
But so the point being is, it was like we actually tracked it. It was the same amount of time. It doesn't seem like it, but it's the same amount of time going from here to New York, train or plane. A majority. of the
really
time. Yeah.
interesting.
Because like Carla
but-
got stuck. Carla got like delayed twice.
Yeah.
at the
And
airport,
it's-
so-
if you took a train, you would have been here by
Yeah.
now. Huh. And less stressful to take a train
Yes, much less.
because
And
you're
you
not,
can get up and dance around.
You
They
can,
don't care.
yeah.
They
Dude,
encourage it.
I mean, I think Southwest they'll let you dance around a little bit, but
A little bit.
you know, as long as there's no turbulence, right?
Yeah.
So,
Back to your point of this, I don't. When you're getting to the distance of like London, with a time zone change and everything else, like I would totally hop a rocket.
The time zone change is still gonna be your problem.
What's that?
The time zone, I mean, the changing time zones, like then going to sleep, like that's still gonna be where you're most,
But so-
awfulness of it.
you're worried about jet lag. Are you ready for rocket lag, Chilla?
So the thing about jet lag, it's not the jet that is the lag; it's planet lag.
It's the
you know?
change. Yeah, it's the change of time and sleep pattern.
It really
But
is more a cultural lag, right?
But if you're
No, it's a-
because
it's
the
a-
time, the time,
it's
it's a psychological, I guess, right?
No, well, it's physical. It's
Okay.
You know, yeah.
it's the circadian rhythm.
Thank
thing.
you. That's the word.
I got your back. But I don't know. But I feel like, so when I go somewhere that's in a different time zone, I feel like I adapt easily to their time zone. It's coming back.
Well, it's east is easier. East is harder than going west.
Okay.
Going west is easier. It's easier to extend your day than it is to shorten your day.
Okay.
And so going west is harder. So if you're typically going to the west coast, that makes perfect sense why you feel like going away is easier.
Because I have an easier time going east.
You have an easier time going east?
Yes. Like if I go to London,
Oh.
because I've been, on the
Whoa,
weekends.
all
No, but
right.
the few times I've been to London, I have not had a problem adjusting to the time zone change. But I did have a problem when we went to San Francisco.
Interesting.
Going to San Francisco was hard for me. Going to London was easy for me. Coming back from London was much harder.
Okay.
And coming back from San Francisco was easy.
I gotta tell you, I was messed up both ways going to Thailand, like real messed up.
You're on the opposite side of the
It
world.
was. It
doesn't
was.
count.
No
It was
there.
like a straight 12-hour difference. It was just what time is it back home? PM if it's AM. AM if it's PM.
And it took you like 24 hours
is,
to get there.
The problem is I had to keep asking Missy, what day is it? Are you guys doing podcasts tonight? Did you already do them? Am I 2 days early? Am I 2 days late? I don't know. I kept losing track of it. And how many times did I freaking have to ask you what day it was there?
You did have to ask what day it was there. Now, if I'm going to chime in, since I do have a microphone now in front of my face, I agree with Chilla. Whenever I go to San Francisco to visit the family, going to San Francisco is harder than coming back from San Francisco.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have it backwards. But I really thought it was that making the day
I don't know.
longer.
Yeah, because like I make it a point to go, and I can stay up and like I'm good to go on the way out there. But yeah, it's rough. London? You're okay with London though?
Oh, I'd totally hop a rocket.
I have wanted to go to see a play or a Monty Python reunion or something in London.
But
That'd be cool.
See?
But I feel like with this too, depending on where they got the price point to, like I feel like going on those long, those distance type vacations, you stay there for longer because it's more cost effective, right? If you could get this down to a cost effective travel amount, you could go for a day. And I'm guessing if you're only going for a day, it's also easier to adapt because you don't get into that flow. So if you took the rocket in the morning, like at 6 a.m. our time,
Terminology is just like, oh, I'm just going to take the rocket.
and then you were there at 11 a.m. their time, Is that right? Yeah, like it's 5-hour difference.
It's 5 hours.
Yeah, 11. Like say you left here, got there at 11 a.m., hung out there all day, and then came back here.
Save on the hotel. Don't need a hotel.
You don't need a hotel.
So essentially, you're taking your day trip to Erie and going to
Yes.
London.
Right.
By the way, did the exact same thing for New York City with the megabus.
I did that. So I did that, but I did 2 midnights.
Right, right.
So I left here at 11:30, got to
Mhm.
New York City at 7:15 a.m., left New York City at 9 p.m., got home at like 7 a.m.
Because you can get pretty comfortable if you get the right seats on the
Yeah.
megabus. Like
And I did it for Comic-Cons.
Yeah,
Because it's super cost effective.
absolutely. Awesome.
So if I can get a $3 rocket ride to here to London and back,
Hashtag-
I'd go at least to 12.
Hashtag $3 rocket ride. What is the megabus of rockets, and do I want to do it?
and is it a double decker?
And is it a double-decker rocket? Can I sit in the front over the driver and go wee as we take off?
The only thing I didn't sitting up top with some of like the open air area up top. Like I did not like tunnels in the torrential downpour.
Tunnels get scary. Tunnels get real scary. Anyways, okay. Outside of that, so we haven't had a font story in a while. We haven't got that kind of geeky in a while. And Katie's the one to bring it back.
Did you guys see this SNL skit?
No,
I did
No,
not.
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch it if you're a font nerd.
I'm afraid to show it for fear of YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But still.
So essentially, Ryan Gosling is just obsessed over something, and then you find out it's the fact that Avatar used this papyrus font. Like, didn't bother to change it at all. Like, used the papyrus font on Avatar's logo for the movie posters, and he's very upset about this, and he's just obsessing over it, and it's very cinematic, and it's really funny. And then the person behind Papyrus came out and was like, "Yeah,
Wait. So this is the guy that made Papyrus?
yeah, what was his name? What is his name? I feel like we should say. Where'd he go? Chris Costello.
And I've seen some straight up Papyrus on like billboards around Pittsburgh too.
Yeah,
right?
but they even mentioned that they're big on like hookah bars and knockoff tea, and so it's really funny because like even the signs go by him as he's driving, and at one point they're like they tweaked it, and they're like they didn't tweak it enough. It's the same thing. So it's really funny because it is flat out Papyrus.
There was a time with the one graphic design guild John DeGore belongs to, that escapes the name. We shot videos with all the designers of Comic Sans or Papyrus, and I remember like one of them answering, "I don't want to answer because I think he was like the head of their graphic design department, and he's like, I might get fired if I answer." So a lot of fun with that. But anyways, Cindy,
Yes.
I had one of your stories up here. So you've been looking at, I guess there's a lot going on with the news and social media lately.
Well, yeah. So I mean,
So I've heard.
I mean, when you think about it, social media, like I do pay, a subscription to the New York Times, for example, because I feel like that's how they're going to pay the reporters if we all still support that kind of thing. Because you could get around all the blocks and stuff, but it's more important to actually just sort of, somebody's got to pay for it. May as well be me. So, so I do use those news sources, but really Twitter and Facebook are like my major ways of getting the news. And so I kind of count on them being reliable. And I think most everybody does these days, or at least a lot of people. When I say most everybody, clearly not most everybody, but a lot of people who have all these devices, that's how we're doing it. But then an event happens like the shooting in Las Vegas, and you would think that Google, think of how much Google knows about us. Like they should be able to filter out the stuff that is clearly from places that are wrong, and they don't.
Right. Because Google famously, we always talk about like as far as SEO and blogging and things like you're establishing yourself as an expert. It sees the content and puts that against questions and things and knows your reputation basically, right? So it should know those.
I mean, even going beyond that, like Google, I'm sure realizes that 4chan, for example, is not going to be a reliable source for who a shooter might be, because it's just it's ripe for being seasoned with a variety of clever and interesting and funny wrong answers.
Plus anonymity.
Plus anonymity. And so why that would ever show up as like an actual news, like a listing as a news thing, is crazy. And yet it did several times, as I understand.
Well, in comparison to that, TMZ has been breaking more and more news recently, especially when it comes to like celebrity death type of stuff. Yeah, they've been the first news source, but it's TMZ. How credible are they in comparison?
And it's also so is TMZ now an accredited news source?
Well, and that's what I'm
comparison?
saying.
Well, things can definitely change.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think that when you're in a really volatile situation, like whatever, 3 a.m., on which day was it was it Saturday
Sunday night, I think. Sunday
night and Monday, yeah.
That's when, like Wikipedia, for example, just shuts down edits on certain pages, and they just do that. When someone has just died, you can no longer edit that person's page because it's gonna, like, people are gonna be in there doing all kinds of crazy things or some other kind of news. And yet it seems like Google, with the stacks of money that they've got, or Facebook with the stacks of money they got, should be able to come up with solutions, even if they're people solutions, even if they're like curator solutions.
And I want to say not only stacks of money, but just resources in general. Like how many problems, they're throwing away CPU cycles to figure out how many pictures I have of a dog so I can search dog in photos, right?
Like all the AI, TensorFlow,
and all they're talking about, especially how much lately are all of these guys trumping up our machine learning and AI search and all those kinds of things to know better what's going on and teaching these things. And
Google knows that I had pizza for dinner. Like everybody now knows that, but like they know that stuff, right? They just know all these things, and they're going to therefore advertise to me. Oh, you know what? Maybe she really likes, and so I'm going to see pepperoni pizzas now for the rest of my days.
And really, is that such a bad thing?
It's not a bad
for
thing.
free,
as long as it's on Slice on Broadway.
That's right. That's right. Oh, now they know that, and now they will.
Right. So I mean, is the question that they seem to take being a really reliable news source, being the most reliable source, as an important thing, and yet somehow they aren't really applying the resources to fix what seems clearly a problem, and what anyone who really understands these are possible credible sources, and these other ones are just not, or how to recognize a bad piece of news, or how to recognize a filtering spam thing in email. Come to think of it, like anyone with any kind of education at all about computers should be able to see that is clearly wrong, and why is that showing up in people's email boxes at all, right?
Or are people coding? Because when you think about all the guides to SEO, and here's how you get noticed, and here's how you get to the top, and here's the tricks, and you have to move this, are people figuring out the way around it? Or is there something magical in the way they're doing it that it's tricking?
Most of the time, in the earlier days of SEO, that was the thing. Is people were always trying to come up with a way to get around it. But Google spends a lot of resources educating people on how to make good pages now. And they're basically telling us, do this and your page will be better. But the things they're telling us to do are basically things that make your page more interesting for a human. You know what I mean? So all the SEO tricks more and more getting closer and closer to what humans actually want to read on the web. And that's where the machine learning comes in. They're not actually measuring like the number of keywords or anything like that. They're comparing, this is a page and it's very similar to this other page that's doing really well. Like that's what the machine learning is doing. That was clearly a highly technical explanation, but I'm getting nods from Katie. So
No, you're totally. That's an excellent way to explain it, because everybody thinks that you can still do those things. You can still trick things, and just, if I say enough of these keywords, they will find me. It's not how it works. So I think it's also the compelling narrative. If you can create something that sounds like a thing, and if I make it sound, I'm going to put a fake story out that I lost my friend. And but they, like you said, Google should be able to go, oh, you know what? There's nothing credible about this. This post is from this particular area. You are not on location in this particular area where this stuff is happening. Like,
But how many times, when an editor is on location, is that post actually going back to
You know,
their parent location
doesn't
and
this
then
also
surfacing.
circle around though to something we talked about earlier about the immersive theater thing? Because they were making posts from the locations, Facebook Living from the locations, talking, and being people.
Well, but so here's the thing. Maybe there's just a different set of rules that you apply in an extreme situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
A tragedy or some sort of natural disaster or something.
Right,
and so you
right,
kick
right.
in a different set of rules.
Kind of like how when a disaster happens, Facebook kicks into what is that feature where you can
The
check in?
check in.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
And that's an easy. That seems like that. I don't know. Again, I
I-
don't
no,
run
no,
these
no,
servers,
that-
but that
yeah.
seems easy.
It seems like a proper direction, at
Yeah.
least. At least to say, hey,
And the thing is, I mean, all those people mean well. I mean, I believe that the people who work at Facebook and Google and Twitter want to do good things. So I don't understand. The puzzle to me is what's holding it back.
It's like they're holding us more accountable than they're holding themselves,
Good
which
point.
I think is kind of the frustrating part of it.
Or do you make it where that news is curated and validated prior for that period of time? There's a human curation element to allowing some of that to surface.
enact superhuman curation team.
But wasn't Facebook's doing that? Facebook's putting a huge curation team together to track that kind of stuff. So
Things went really, really wrong for them when they had a curation team for a while there, because you could statistically show that some of the posts that it had more of a liberal lean than it had a conservative lean.
But if it's just during time of crisis to filter out fake news, as long as the story is valid, I don't see what would be the harm.
I mean, checking news sources.
Oh, Mike.
Sorry. Yeah, checking news sources is something that's relatively easy. I mean, if you have so many stories coming in, just the sheer amount of stories coming in from multiple locations, that could be a check source. Once you hit that check source, you then, call up your buddy at the New York Times, be like, all right, have you heard anything about this? Is there anything like legit about this or type of thing? I think that, again, the manual thing could be kind of in place to override some of the automation at that point. And it wouldn't be seemingly that difficult.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at for example, the example that comes up again and again is the first reports of who was identified as the shooter in Las Vegas, and those, the first reports on that are clearly going to be, you want to look at them. Somebody's going to get it right. Somebody is going to be the right person saying really first. But if you looked at some of the names and some of the IDs, a lot of the reports were, well, actually, this was a anti-Trump, liberal kind of person. Like, that seems unexpected. And so you don't say, well, that's clearly wrong. You say, let's take an extra look at those and apply then a different sense of thing.
Yeah, I've seen a couple conspiracy theories that I'm like, whoa, how did these even get into our feeds? The snipers on the roof who were...
Right, the second and the third shooter.
And there's
someone
going,
on the,
and we've seen with other instances like this. I mean, there's going to be that, but anyways. Well, I think I need to bring it back around to Chilla's dancing stormtrooper.
So there's a
Let's end on a high note, or probably an equally creepy note.
So there's a little stormtrooper, and I gotta find the link in here to bring it back up from.
I got it.
Okay, cool. That will actually do facial rec, and he can kind of protect your room from people coming in.
Yes, my own guard stormtrooper.
Yes. Totally awesome. The thing that surprised me was it can only store up to 3 faces in its memory bank. So you can program it where it'll allow 3 people to go by, and then if you're not one of those 3 people, it has like vocal capability and can do a bunch of stuff. I really, really like the idea. I wish they could put this in their Sphero. The Sphero could put this in their type stuff with the R2 unit, because I would love to have an R2 unit that can roll around, even if it was only 8 inches tall, to roll around and kind of beep and communicate with people that it knew, but the people that it didn't know, it could kind
Like
of
a little bit
zigzag in front of.
Welcome home to your
Yeah.
kid, or something like that.
That reminds me of, oh gosh, Ryan Gosling, new movie, earlier version.
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Beginning the Blade Runner, where the guy comes up, the guy opens the door, and the little man walks in. Oh my gosh.
I need to watch that
Sorry.
again.
Sorry.
But anyways, if you're concerned that the stormtrooper isn't threatening enough to guard your room, the same company also made this dancing robot, which is definitely he can dance away the intruders, and because he kind of brings the creep factor a little bit too. So it looks like if Mega Man was one color, and in a
That looks almost like Tommy.
Tommy.
There's an AI robot from IBM that can do a bunch of stuff, and it almost looks identical to that one.
This is the Lynx. From,
Okay.
What was the company again? I'm gonna get that in a sec. Ubtech.
Yeah.
So,
Can you put the stormtrooper back on the screen for a second? Because I want to say a thing. I want to make
Okay.
the world's most obvious joke.
okay.
Aren't you a little
Little
short for a
stormtrooper.
stormtrooper?
Oh
Amazing.
boy, Cynthia Klosky, thank you so much for joining us and closing us on a good note. Once again, where can people check out things that you guys are up to?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Cynthia Klosky, and you can Google Shift Collaborative to see all the good stuff that we're doing at work.
Awesome, check it out. John Chichilla, he is at chillatech.net.
Chilla on the Twitters, John Chill on the Facebook.
There you go. And Katie is online a lot of places.
Sure, during the internet. But hey, guess what? I can totally transition into a Scarehouse Star Wars thing because we're doing Star Wars night on Sunday.
Ooh.
So we work with Make Room for Kids, which is an initiative of the Mary Lemieux Foundation, and Make Room for Kids is one of the groups that puts in video game systems, specifically Xboxes, into various rooms of kids at Children's Hospital, kind of letting them still be kids. And we've worked with them for years. Like, it's been 6 years since we started the Scarehouse Shake, which benefits them. So this year we're kind of stepping things up. So it's Star Wars Sunday.
Oh, and the Scarehouse Shake is at...
Burgatory.
Yes.
All of the Burgatories, and it's delicious. You should drink one. And
Or more. One or more.
all of them.
Drink all the shakes.
So on Sunday, the portion of the ticket sales go to Make Room for Kids. We're also doing a super cool on-site raffle where we have this amazing Xbox One with a Stormtrooper skin on it. It looks so cool, and a Mary Lemieux signed puck that we'll be giving away. We'll also have members of the 501st Star Killer Garrison and Ghost Base, the Rebel Legion, will be out and about taking pictures, and maybe a couple in the haunt, because you can't not have people in the haunt.
We had a member of the 501st over on Wrestling Mayhem show a few weeks ago as well. Nice
Greg
crew.
O.
What's that?
Greg O.
Greg O. Greg O. He didn't want us to try to butcher his last name, apparently. So thank you so much for that. And go check it out, scarehouse.com, if you want more details on that. A lot of cool stuff going on. And I like to see how much charity stuff you have going on. And also, are the Monday ticket giveaways going to continue? Because I love I saw the Star Wars theme one from like last night, and I think I texted you. You're having the exact right amount of fun with this.
Scott looked at me at some point today and he said, "You realize that you are paid to take pictures of your Star Wars toys, and they reach 50,000 plus people."
See, I didn't even ask if that was your stuff.
That's my stuff.
I just knew it was your stuff. So
Darth Vader actually doesn't have any fingers if you look very closely, because they broke off. I was like, I hope the picture's not that good.
one day in the past, I owned some Star Wars toys as a kid, and I did not treat them very well. And very, very familiar with that. So, all right, and of course, checking everything. Oh, hey, Missy. I don't know. You're like very on camera now with this new setup. So I figure if you have anything to plug, there's a lot of things going on, including the coffee this weekend.
Yeah, I actually just finished the thing that I plugged most. That's PodCamp. So
Yay!
what do I plug now, Sorg? Coffee this weekend.
There are things to plug.
Yes, there are things to plug. Biggest thing, I guess, is coffee this weekend, because I was not expecting to have to plug anything at the moment. So, yay, coffee. Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
We got good coffee. Like better coffee than usual, I think now. If that doesn't get that doesn't get you out here, we're going to be talking. You know, a lot of podcasters out here, and if you have anything creative to get into, please come out and tell us your podcast idea if you need any help or anything like that. We do this here once a month here at the studio at 1619 Broadway Avenue. All right. thank you everybody in the chat room tonight. Our awesome chat room. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. Boop, boop, boop.
Awesome. Wrestling
Awesome.
man.
That's okay.
That was
I'll
awesome.
call it Wrestling Mayhem Show later.
The awesome mayhem show.
The awesome.
Did you listen to the very end of Accurate Weekly?
Tonight.
No, last week's.
I don't
Sorry, I
remember.
threw Crummy on
I've
the floor,
been
too.
not getting to the end of them lately.
I'm feeding the dog for later.
Unless Alex Lindsay is
So
on,
Alex Lindsay's
because he
on.
always
Run the
okay. I
documentaries.
probably did then, because I always stick around for whatever his tip is at the end, because it tends to be something I'll use.
So he was
Thank you guys.